So Rasta, outside of
What?
the back and forth that you just had, did you watch the footage and what is your thoughts on the newly released surveillance?
Man, look, you could see clearly everything that happened. And you could see he was sitting down, and you could see a crowd of people around the youth. So the youth guy his hand, they put the hands on the youth, and he did what he gotta do. It's self-defense because it was one of him and how much of them? You gotta fight your way out. If you're back against the wall, what you gonna do? Fall? Or you gonna try to bang your way out of the back? Yeah, you gotta get up out that corner. You gotta move around. So if you have people surround you, you gotta do whatever it is. Whoever you gonna get, you gonna get. But the person you get, everybody gonna run like roach. It's just like in the dark. When roach come out in the dark and you turn the light on, roach scatter. And that's what happened. All them roach went over to a big man and tried to eat the big man. And the big man come out on top. So when he do what he do, everybody scatter. And all he had to do is get away, because if he did not get away, they'd have do him in. So he did the right thing. And I don't care what nobody say. He did the right thing. So whoever got anything negative to say about that youth there, I stand by that dude all day, every day, till the day I die, till he come home. Real talk. And that's how I feel about that. Because if you have a crowd of people around you and it's just you, what you gonna do? You're back against the wall. You gonna let everybody jump on you, or you gonna try to fight your way out of there, however, or whatever, and whatever you got to do to get out of there. And everybody don't need a gun. A knife will work. All you gotta do is grab one of them and drive them a bumper clot knife and watch everybody run. And that's why exactly what happened, and he dissolved that in a pussy hole. Just so. Black power, I don't talk.
All right. Thank you, Rasta. I just wanted to hear from you really quickly. Monica hasn't spoke yet. Monica, what is your thoughts that you want to add?
I seen the video, and coming from California, our racism is systemic, it's in laws. But what I seen from your coverage was full on bigotry. I cried for 3 days because they railroad him. No ifs, ands, buts about it. I went to school. I have my degree in criminal justice. And he didn't have a right to a fair trial at all, under no circumstances. For me, in that video, you literally can see like hands throwing, pushing, like you could just see shadows of things. But if you look carefully, you really can see kind of how the movement is placed. And then thirdly, it was a lot of social injustice. But I also seen that daddy, when the gag order was lifted, his true colors really came out. But for me, I feel like in it but for me, I feel like every piece of this puzzle got to play out the way it's playing out, because Collins County is supposed to be under a reckoning, because
Mm-hmm.
they have did too much to black people there, all the way back in what, the 1940s, 50s, 60s, maybe even further back from that. I feel
And
like
we about to
now it's
see, not to cut you off, but he's in charge of Jake Lang's case. He just barred Jake Lang from Texas. But when that case actually gets a sentence, we're going to see the little tap that he gives him and all of those things as well.
like that. It's he's setting himself up. They all setting themselves up. Even, the other lady. You know who I mean? I don't want to say no names on here, but you know who I'm talking about? Everybody on
The
the panel?
troll.
Yeah, the troll. Thank you. She's setting herself up too. She thinks she's so smart, she's silly. right? Because she thinks she know how she playing the game, but all she doing is falling into the trap for it all to be exposed. And I believe Carmelo appeal is going to be granted and it's going to go through. And I believe his family going to get the right type of attorney and they going to go in there and they going to do what's necessary. And we all going to come back on this panel sooner than later and we all gonna have a discussion about it. How they really thought they was really winning, and in the end, they set themselves up for the fall. But I really appreciate what you do, Neek. At night, I thank you.
Thank
I was
you.
praying for you while you was out there because that seemed like that was scary. I thank you, Rasta. I don't think he on here no more. I thank you, Rasta, for
Oh yeah, I there. I there.
standing guard, 10 toes down to the ground and letting them
All the
know that
way.
authority was there. Like y'all ain't got no nothing. You stepping on the necks of the enemy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I thank
that's what
you
we
for
do.
that. I commend every one of them people that stood outside that courthouse and screamed and shout and came against all them people who were trying to oppress them and silence them not to say nothing.
And
Like, and
actually,
it's
all the people
Juneteenth, baby.
outside was
We standing strong.
agitators and instigators, and they was basically just posting the black people's response to them agitating and instigating. But thank you, Monica. I'm gonna go to Tammy Nicole. Tammy Nicole, did you speak already?
I did not. Can you hear
Okay,
me?
go ahead. And thank you so much, Monica, for the prayers and everything. They were definitely needed because it was a lot of heavy energy there. So I do appreciate you so much, Tammy Nicole.
I mean,
Let me know what you think.
I think it's really sad that on Juneteenth, we still, some of us, not all, let me say it again, some of us, not all, don't get it and we don't see what's going on. I don't know if it's education, I don't know if it's comprehension, I don't know if it's not being able to think rationally. But what we saw in Texas was literally a railroad type of case. And I don't know if people don't understand what that means. I don't know if people don't understand the history, but I would suggest people start looking at what railroading means, the prison to school pipeline means, covert and overt racism. Because in Texas, this boy, I personally feel, this is my opinion, it's not neat. I personally feel like everybody was connected, the DA, the judge, and the defense lawyer. I think they knew that the Anthony family didn't have the know-it-all to hire who they wanted to. So I think they were pushed into a situation that they thought was good for them. But as more comes out, I think we see that this is kind of all together. And people who live in the county are saying the same thing. This has been going on for forever. So let me bring it back full circle. And Neek, I'm just going to use you as an example really quickly. I think that this was Neek's first time seeing an actual railroad happen inside and outside of the courtroom.
Yeah.
She was crying because she was mad that there was nothing she could do. She said on the first day that she went, she noticed the man looking at her the whole time. Then day 2, now here comes old girl and him. Day 3, 4, and 5. Now she in her car crying. She said when she first got there, the sheriff's not that bad. They was actually talking to us. They was nice. But on the day that verdict was about to be read, the sheriffs didn't even look at her, is what it sounded like to me, especially when she needed them. So for her to be so upset at seeing what's going on inside the courtroom and outside of the courtroom and her be affected by it, I think we need to listen a little bit more. She's watching a boy lose his whole life and she can't do nothing about it. People are telling her, oh, the defense should have did this, the prosecutor should have did this. It was a whole show in that courtroom if you listen to her explain it. And it sounds like everybody was in on it and there was nothing nobody could do about it. That
All the
judge,
way down to the victimhood on Facebook and locking everybody else out from telling the truth and then leaving a tyrant in the court to cause chaos on Facebook for all of the people to see that's in that community. All of it was orchestrated to me.
It was all put together, all of it. And I think this is why I say Nick is going to be in the history books, because for the first time, I think in my generation, and I'm 42, we can actually see something go wrong. And I know that it's going to correct itself, because he did not get a fair trial. No matter if he had a knife, a cleat cleaner, let's be honest. Racism in Texas, especially in that county, means nothing good for Black people. If that boy would have pushed Austin down, and Austin would have broke his neck and not made it, because it was raining, and I don't know if y'all know, but I've been to plenty of school games. Them bleachers will take you out in a second when it's raining. If he would have pushed Austin or Hunter and they would have broke their neck, Karmelo still would have been in court. It don't matter if he had a knife or not. So yes, school events, no matter if they're on campus or off campus, it's still school and their rules still apply. But when you're not on school grounds and you're on someone else's grounds, there is a state law that happens. So two things could be true at the same time. However, we come in with why he had the knife. My question is, why didn't Austin go get a teacher? Right?
They were very close. When they showed us the other footage of where the coaches were and how close in proximity to the tent, and the coach themselves said, we didn't even know nothing was going on. We couldn't even hear nothing. They were very, like, they could have got to a coach in under a minute. That's how close the coaches were, and that's how close the coach, who was a veteran, responded. And he would, like, it was literally right there.
Like, close. And like Nick was saying, when she kept saying all they have to do is pull these cameras. Now, y'all know if Nick would have said something crazy coming out of that courthouse, because they do have people listening, that they wouldn't have let her back in the second, third, fourth, fifth day after she kept getting harassed. All she said was,
they could never block me because I never gave them that. I never
and
said
that's what I'm saying
to her. It would have been a lot.
She said, just check the cameras because I know I'm good. That's it.
Facts.
They could have done that, but they didn't. And so what she said after that was, I'm watching them back each other up, even though they're wrong. In the courtroom, she said, I'm watching these kids be rehearsed and back each other up, although we all know they're wrong. If you're a parent or an aunt who's close, or a grandmama, you can tell when kids is lying. You can tell when a group of kids is lying. Okay, that's the truth. That's a lie. That's the truth. You can tell. So if she's watching them lie in court and back each other up, come outside and she's saying, just get the cameras. I'm good. I don't care. They still wanted to fight. They still wanted to fight, not physically, but they still wanted to intimidate her to where we had to have Black Panthers protect her. Do you know how much we cried when we saw that she was actually protected, because we know what can happen in Texas? I get it. He shouldn't have had a knife. That's how y'all feel. However, when I was coming up in high school, my parents gave me a pocket knife and mace and said, if anything happens to you, you have to defend yourself.